We are built for this network, for the strong, not the weak.
Yo, this is Afro, aka All Flows Reach Out, and you're listening to Built for This Network. Yes, sir. From the building, stay bomb.
Walter Ray Allen, universally recognized as one of the greatest shooters in league history. But just how good of an overall basketball player was he really? At this point in hindsight, so much of his legacy is wrapped up in one single shot, possibly the most clutch shot in NBA history. But the truth is, he was so much more than just that. And with this video, I would like to dig more into the less documented periods of his career, as we analyze his talent, his accolades, and the impact he left on the game as a whole. So let's start how we always do, by taking it back to the beginning of his career. Ray Allen was selected with the 5th overall pick in the 1996 NBA draft by the Minnesota Timberwolves, but was almost immediately traded to the Milwaukee Bucks for the rights to draft Stephon Marbury. It would be in Milwaukee where the 6'5" shooting guard would begin his journey to the Hall of Fame. In his rookie campaign, he averaged 13.4 points, 4 rebounds, and 2.6 assists on 43% shooting in 30 minutes per game. He also shot 39.3% from three-point range, immediately displaying his sharpshooting upon entering the league. He had plenty more skills than just that though. He had a fantastic and underrated handle, he was great at moving without the basketball, he could shoot off the dribble, and was extremely accurate when contested. And many have already forgotten how he had a sneaky explosiveness when attacking the rim. He even participated in the NBA dunk contest in his rookie season. Despite the 21-year-old's immediate impact, Milwaukee was still a long ways from competing, and finished the season with a 33-49 record. In his second year, Allen and the Bucks took a leap forward as he increased his averages across the board and had numerous standout performances, like in the final game of the regular season in a must-win situation to get into the playoffs. Allen dropped 40 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 steals on 55% shooting. If a 22-year-old did that in today's NBA, social media would be losing its mind. As time went on, Allen and the Bucks continued to grow stronger, as he was an all-star for the first time in his 4th season. But it would be his 5th season where Milwaukee would make some serious noise in the East. That year, he put up 22 points, 5.2 rebounds, 4.6 assists, and 1.5 steals on 48% shooting and 43.3% from distance. With help from teammates like Glenn Robinson and Sam Cassell, the Bucks won 52 games for the second best record in the Eastern Conference. Allen took his game to another level in that postseason, as they started by beating the Magic in 4 games, and then beat the Hornets in the second round in 7 games. They were heading into the Eastern Finals, and awaiting for them was the league MVP and the top-seeded Philadelphia 76ers. Now everyone remembers Allen Iverson's iconic 2001 postseason, where he offensively carried the 76ers into the NBA Finals. But what everyone forgets is how close Ray Allen was to leading the Bucks to the finals instead. They pushed the 76ers to an epic 7-game series, and in that series, Ray put up a remarkable 27.1 points, 5.4 assists, and 3.3 rebounds on 46.8% shooting. He also shot a ridiculous 51% from three-point range and 97% from the free throw line. This obviously wasn't just a really solid three-point shooter, but Allen was a legitimate superstar playing like a superstar when the games mattered most in the NBA playoffs. Believe it or not, we still hadn't seen the best of Ray Allen. Unfortunately, this is the best we'd see from this Bucks squad, as the team wasn't clicking as well the following year, and eventually, looking to make major changes, they made a blockbuster trade, sending Allen to the Seattle Supersonics in return for Gary Payton. In Seattle, the now 28-year-old Allen would have to be leaned upon even more offensively, which led his numbers to consistently increase over the next several seasons. He was legitimately asserting himself as one of the best shooting guards in all of the NBA. and in the 05-06 season, he would have a career year from an individual perspective. He put up 25.1 points, 4.3 rebounds, 3.7 assists, and 1.7 steals on 45% shooting and 41.2% from three-point range. In only 78 games, he set the NBA record for the most three-pointers made in a single season with 269. His record has since been broken over a dozen times due to the inflation in three-pointers. But even with that being said, his 269 total is still incredibly impressive even by today's standards. To even further emphasize how impressive his three-point total was, consider the fact that the NBA in 2006 was shooting less than half the amount of three-pointers that are being shot in the current NBA. In other words, 06 Allen would be an absolutely terrifying force if he played in today's game. He simply increased his scoring average the following year, including a monstrous 54-10-5 performance against the Utah Jazz. Unfortunately, shortly after that, his season was cut short by an injury, and he had to have ankle surgery on both ankles, missing the remainder of the 2006 to 2007 season. Although Allen was an all-star in each of his 4 full seasons with the Sonics, they were never able to make it as far as the conference finals, and due to this, the Sonics were ready to head into a complete rebuild by the 2007 offseason. So they traded Allen to the Boston Celtics for a couple players and a lottery pick. Shortly after, the Celtics also acquired Kevin Garnett, forming the iconic Boston Big Three. This is all well known and well documented, but the Celtics went from a 24-win team to a 66-win team after the additions. The offensive production was spread out pretty evenly between the 3 stars. Although Allen's numbers dropped significantly from his days with the Sonics, it was all for the sake of winning, as the Celtics dominated their way to the 2008 championship. One thing Allen definitely displayed during his time with Boston was his natural clutch gene. Time and time again, he hit a game-winning basket or a crucial 3 just when his team needed it. In February of 2010, he became the all-time leader in three-pointers made, a record he still holds to this day. He also became the first player in NBA history to make at least 7 three-pointers in multiple finals games. When he joined the Miami Heat in 2012, he was 37 years old, and his best days were clearly behind him. But with that being said, he was still about as reliable of a role player as it gets at that age. Other than the Heat's Big Three, he led Miami in scoring during his time there, and he continued to do what he had done so well throughout his career and hit the big shots when they mattered most. None more famous than the game-tying 3 with 5 seconds left in a must-win Game 6 of the NBA Finals. It literally saved the series, and it's why many people, including myself, recognize it as the most clutch shot in league history. Looking at the totality of his career as a whole, Allen made 10 All-Star teams, 2 All-NBA teams, and he was a 2-time NBA champion. He was a near 20 points per game scorer over the course of his career, and was a deadly 40% from three-point range. That's impressive just for a single season, but for an entire career at his volume of three-point shots is absolutely exceptional. In my opinion, Ray Allen is the ultimate example of how a superstar can age gracefully throughout his basketball career. At one point, he was a developing young star, and then he was the leading superstar of his franchise, and then he embraced his role as the second or third option, and eventually he became the standard of a solid and reliable role player. There was no point in his career where he didn't stand out in some way, shape, or form, regardless of his role. In my opinion, he's one of the top 10 shooting guards of all time, and one of the most clutch shooters the game has ever seen. So here's my question. Game on the line and you need a three-pointer. Is there any player you would rather have taking that shot than Ray Allen? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching as always. Make sure to like and subscribe for more basketball content, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
Good evening. It's your man H-Rap B, coming at you live and direct from Built for This Network. Thank you for tuning in again. It's going to be something special. This is the End of the Bench Sports Podcast, hosted by yours truly. I got my man Joe from Houston, and a little later on, I got my man Big Illinois, 73, the host of the Barbershop Podcast. He'll be in a little later, I think. With that being said, thank you for joining. It's been an interesting week in sports, as I do every week. This is a podcast. And the reason I say that is because a lot of people tell me they missed my show. No, you did not. It is impossible to miss a podcast. They are on the internet forever, ever, and ever. Therefore, if you are listening now, or if you tune in a little later, you can always go back and listen. All you have to do is come back here to Spreaker.com, use the link, go to Spreaker.com and look for Built for This Network. Or you can go to YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Cast, Castbox, Deezer, Podcast Addict, or wherever you choose to download your podcast. Look up Built for This Network and you will be in effect. As I do every week, I send respect to my current relatives and my ancestors that have transitioned. Without them, there is no me. So shout out to the Whitmore family: Pollard, Turner, Battle, Cotton, Harper, Bailey, Chris, Lansdowne, Liggins, Duncan, and you all know my father is the head of the Williams clan. We are always in the building. With that being said, let's get this show on the road. What's good, Joe? How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. Hey, just got done with the Thanksgiving hangover, back to work, relaxing, got my sports, and still waiting on this Pittsburgh Ravens game, but it'll happen eventually.
Oh my God, I sent out the wrong link to every single person. It seems. Oh, well, I'll be sending that out again. It has been an interesting, a very interesting situation in sports today. You got a lot, like the Steelers-Ravens game is I don't even know how to describe it. It's tripped out because now we really get to decide. We really are in the situation that we're going to choose entertainment over life. And that's the sad part. We are literally choosing to be entertained or to allow people to live for our entertainment. It's Pittsburgh Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens, a heated rivalry, potentially a revenge game, and now they're being postponed again due to too many players coming down with the COVID-19 virus. This is one of the scariest things we've ever seen. It's perplexing. I don't know how the virus has run so rampant throughout the Ravens locker room, but it definitely has. What are your thoughts on what's going on? Should they postpone this to the end of the season, just continue the season, potentially have a gigantic media situation, or should they play Wednesday and at another time? What are your thoughts on it?
I mean, my thoughts are in regards to overall how they've been doing it in regards to the testing. When someone does test positive, there is a time period, protocol in regards to that. Truly, if it goes to the point where they're negative and it goes through the protocol and testing that they need, not play the game. As far as it goes, of course, if they don't, throw everything gets thrown off from here on out. You've seen that already. It didn't already move next week's games to they can already play the same game. So everything is already messed up. So as far as it goes, man, they need to find out whatever Pete Carroll and the Seattle Seahawks are doing because they don't have any, positive COVID tests, knock on wood. So somebody's doing something right. The Ravens aren't doing something right for some reason. That makes sense.
I mean, when you talk about an airborne virus, I don't think it's a matter of doing right or wrong. You got people who, I talked to a nurse at the beginning of this. She said a baby was born with the COVID virus and the mother didn't have it. So I don't think it's a right or wrong way to be handling this. This is just a situation that the whole world is at a standstill. Millions upon millions of people have contracted this virus.